Here with reaction, Trump legal spokesperson Alina Habba is with us. Alina, thank you. Glad you're here. Well, my understanding is Stormy did not do well upon cross-examination. Her personality changed dramatically. Her demeanor changed dramatically. She was very clear that she was coached by the prosecution in this case. She admitted she hates Trump, wants him in jail, and then admitted that she didn't know if she would pay the money that she owes Donald Trump in legal fees, and admitted to tweeting all these crude remarks about Donald Trump. And I'm just touching the surface here. Your reaction. You were in the courtroom.
I was in the courtroom today. I was in the courtroom yesterday. What's more compelling to me is that the prosecution, whose case, frankly, in my opinion, has been destroyed, is completely discredited. And now they are saying, as of yesterday, that they want another 2 weeks. And that, to me, says it all, Sean. And the American people need to remember one thing. This case is not about defamation. It is not about a woman. It is about a record-keeping category that was, frankly, correct, made in Trump Tower by the Trump Organization, somebody in accounting who did nothing wrong, who's never spoken to President Trump, while President Trump was doing what? In the Oval Office, running the country. And that is what DA Alvin Bragg is trying to now put a former president on trial for. It's not about the felony counts. It's not about what we heard today. That is a distraction. It is about one thing, Sean, you know it and I know it, and that is to keep Donald Trump out of the campaign trail, because Biden can't beat him. Period. The end. His poll numbers are amazing, and he's not even campaigning. So this is what they have to do, and then put an unconstitutional gag order so that on the days that he can campaign, he can't speak. He can't defend himself. What I have seen is absolute demise of American judicial system. You said it perfectly in your monologue, Sean. I can't believe what I've seen for the last 2 days in that courtroom. And now you've got a judge who will not grant a mistrial when they violated parameters that he gave. They did not care. They went ahead and put salacious information that was frankly false. We know that from words that were said prior to this trial. And now we're sitting here scratching our heads wondering where taxpayer dollars are going. Also that President Biden can win in November. That is all this is. It was very clear to me today.
As a matter of law, everything she talked about today was immaterial. I mean, it had really nothing to do with the law. Let me go back to the official statement that she says she was pressured to sign in January of 2018 that I just read. Well, was she pressured to deny the affair in 2006? Was she similarly pressured to deny it in 2011? Was she pressured to deny it in 2016? Was she pressured to deny it in 2017? Because that's an awful lot of times that she was out there denying it and then admits she wanted to make money and sell a book.
That's correct. And I'm not going to speak to her testimony. She's currently under oath, and we're going to continue cross-examining her on Thursday. What I will say is this, Sean. When you have inconsistencies with any witness, it speaks volumes. When you pick people that are not credible, it speaks volumes. And I think that the fact that we have White House logs that DAs and AGs are all coordinating and on the South Lawn with President Biden also speaks volumes. And we're going to hit each and every one of these cases like we have. As you saw with the boxes hoax today, this is disgusting. Jack Smith changing covers, sloppy with evidence that he's now trying to blame President Trump when it was his hands in the cookie jar. Let's be clear on what is happening. Their plan is falling apart. It's going in their face. And frankly, all of these cases should be dismissed.
All right, the special prosecutor has confessed to the court that they basically tampered with evidence involving the documents case down there. Now this case is on hold indefinitely. Most voters are saying that Donald Trump is being denied a right to a fair trial in this case that we're watching unfold before us. Now Congress will be investigating the special counsel in this case, and the document case judge pulled the plug on the trial because of this admission that they failed to preserve critical evidence, and that footnote that we have been spending a lot of time on the last 2 days. Is there any greater admission? How does that case ever move forward at any time based on what we've learned?
Because when you're rushing cases, when you're bringing cases that are not true, when you're politically motivated, in time it will show. I always tell the American people, sit tight and wait. What we saw today was a story that I've heard for a decade that is complete garbage. And finally, the facts are coming out and the cases are falling apart like a domino, one at a time. You've seen it in Georgia. We're seeing it with Jack Smith. And guess what? We're seeing it now in New York. And if the American people don't see that this is solely to take him off and out, silence him, censor his people, and make sure that he's sitting in a courtroom cold and listening to this corruption, then we are completely misguided and blinded. And we have to fix this country, Sean. It is completely disgraceful what I am seeing.
Well, if this continues, we're not a constitutional republic anymore. Alina, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.